Welcome back, Anxious Gamers, to another game-filled episode. We are your hosts. I'm Chris.
And I'm Josh.
We're going to kick things off with some gaming news, talk about what we're currently playing this week, and then our main topic, gaming with kids, the good and the bad. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, though. That's a good. We're keeping this. Yeah, we got to keep this.
Okay.
So, Josh, man, gaming news.
What you got?
Phil Spencer admits defeat. Have you heard
In
about
what way?
this?
No, in what way?
So we're gonna start from the beginning with a little game called Redfall that's been getting absolute terrible reviews.
Which I talked about how bad the PC port was, but it turns out the game itself is just horrible. I was watching videos on the AI, and like they're just popping into the floors, the walls are walking through things, shooting random, just the air, or walls or whatever. And like a few of the screenshots that I've seen, it's like everything is just out of proportion. Like who saw like this woman sitting in a chair at a desk with this TV next to her? And like the TV is massive. She's really tiny in this chair. And it's like, why does it look like this?
What really got me, Redfall. Yeah, it's all about killing hobbits. Yeah. So what really got me is this is a Bethesda published game.
Yeah.
So
Arcane
this
Austin
but like this is a big bummer because this is kind of what I was talking about in the previous episode where Microsoft buys these companies and then the games aren't as good. And I know it was made by another studio, but still that has Bethesda's name on it.
Right.
And this is Bethesda's first game, out under this deal, which Starfield's coming, which Phil Spencer even said, like, it doesn't matter if Starfield is on like PS5 or whatever, like they still can't keep up with the competition of this. That's basically what this article is on the New York Post. Phil Spencer did an interview. Everybody else is talking about it. And basically was like, yeah, like I'm taking the 100% full fault for Redfall, sorry about it. He basically was like, we can't compete and we've lost the console war this generation so everybody's like freaking out like, oh my god, it's like the decline of Xbox, which I don't think it is, but it's so funny. We were talking about like how the original Xbox was great, but then the 360 was just like a powerhouse, right? There's so many good games, and that the 360 is in my top 5 systems of all time. But I don't know. Like it's a bummer because I've been kind of in an Xbox kick recently. Like I kind of want to hop on Halo. I kind of want to, I don't know, maybe try Fable again for the 1,000th time. But I saw Redfall and it was coming to Game Pass, and I was like, okay, cool. Like that vampire shooter, totally down for it. I loved Left 4 Dead, loved Back 4 Blood, and then it was a disappointment. So yeah. How do you think Starfield will be?
I mean, judging by literally all of the Elder Scrolls launches, all the Fallout launches, it's going to be terrible for like the first 3 or 4 weeks until they fix their servers. And then they're going to fix, some major game-breaking bugs where like you can't finish a quest or whatever. And then the mods are going to come out, and that's going to fix the rest of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how, like, Bethesda has always released extremely buggy games. Like even Skyrim still today, like it's recommended to go download the unofficial bug fix.
Yeah.
Because Bethesda is just like, all right, it's out in the world, it's yours. It runs vanilla. And you can make it through the game. But like if you want like an actual AAA experience, you got to wait on, these people who don't get paid to make these mods to fix the game. And that's exactly how Starfield's going to be.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the 20th anniversary of the Xbox, like the documentary that they did?
I didn't.
It's really cool. I mean, it talks about how they designed it, the concepts to getting Halo on there, buying Bungie, like all this stuff. Do you think, because Phil Spencer and several Microsoft executives have mentioned that Microsoft eventually may get out of the like console generation, and I see that with Game Pass, like you said a while back ago, we have Disney, like with cable we have Disney Plus now, Hulu, Netflix, all that, even with app music, we have streaming platforms. Phil Spencer approached Nintendo once and was like, hey, I want to get Game Pass on the
On the
Switch, but
Switch. Yeah.
Nintendo wanted their version of it, and so
Yeah.
it never came over. Do you think that we're heading in that generation? Because they just got Game Pass on Samsung TVs, like as an app,
Honestly,
Um,
I don't think we're too far away from, because like we're already seeing it with the PlayStation. There's the discless and the disc version.
mhm.
And the disc version is still outselling discless by a pretty decent
Yeah.
margin. I can't remember what the actual stats are, but as we keep moving toward better and better internet, more available internet, especially with things like Starlink, like
Mhm.
which is what my sister and her husband have at their house. It's the only decent internet they can get, and I mean they're pulling down like 80 megabits a second, which is not bad at all, and there's no cap.
Yeah.
Far better than satellite internet used to be. And I mean, I'm in a small town and I get gigabit down. And so
Mhm.
like as we keep moving toward this world where internet is a necessity and it starts to get regulated same as water and electricity and everything like that. I can see consoles getting to a point where it's basically just a branded streaming box. Like
Yeah,
it'll
like the
have a
cloud
specific
gaming and all that.
controller. Yeah, it's good. I mean,
Mhm.
at some point, it's probably going to move to almost completely online digital gaming. Like you don't like PC. You don't buy physical games for PC anymore. So, I mean, I'm sure some people do, but
Yeah.
it's just for show. Like there's nothing in it.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
like you go on Steam or something and you just download it.
And I think that's a good point too, where cuz I honestly, like, when I bought the Switch was the first time that I was okay buying digital games for the
Mhm.
portability factor, right?
Right.
Which I did pre-order Tears of the Kingdom, and I don't know if I told you I actually went with the physical copy,
Nice.
just
Okay. Yeah,
because I
I knew
have
you
all
were
the
on the
other Zelda
fence.
games.
Yeah, it'll look good on
Well,
the
I
shelf.
have to pick my amiibo up, and I'm like, I'm going over there anyways. I'll get a
Might as well.
physical
Yeah.
copy. I'm excited. The box art looks amazing. Um, but like that was the first time I was like, I kind of like having digital more. And
Yeah.
then I buy the Series S, and I'm like, man, like there is no point in just getting the disc, because it's like it's on Game Pass, and then you
Mhm.
can stream it to your phone. And then it's like if you want to play portably, you have to have that game in your console unless you're
Oh yeah.
using Game Pass or you have it digitally downloaded and
Right.
stuff. So I don't own a single Xbox disc, unfortunately, but I I still feel like physical media will be in the realm of some sort, like you said, whether it's like a device or there's a reason to buy it physically, you
Like
know.
at some point I could see there being similar to PC. There's a
Mhm,
disc, but it's basically just to confirm that you own it. Like you still have to download the whole thing.
mhm.
Um, so like whether I mean it may still have a disc slot, but I don't know that in 2 or 3 generations of consoles that the games will actually be played on the console itself. Which is an interesting thing,
Yeah.
which is and that's why PlayStation has got their, their whole streaming service up. Nintendo has even started messing around with cloud
Mhm.
gaming. Microsoft has
Yeah.
Game Pass. There's is it Origin or Ubi Plus or whatever it is,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
where they
something
have
like
their
that.
whole library for streaming. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
and we're gonna end up where it
Yeah.
is. Like people don't buy DVDs anymore.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
I have a
I
few
I
4Ks.
sometimes still do.
Do you? Nice.
Sometimes, because
Okay.
there is that one movie where it's like, okay, this is so bad that it's not on a streaming service, but
Okay.
uh
That's
well,
understandable.
like I'm 50-50 with physical and digital. Like I'm like you, like you have your retro collection behind you. I
Yep.
don't collect retro anymore. because most of the games that I do like that are retro are on a service, right?
Mm.
But I really do like the convenience factor of digital, but then like just being able to still sometimes have something like Limited Run is a great company that's been pumping out like really cool games. And I still get that like moment where it's like, my like wife has to go to this store and there's a GameStop next door. I'll go in
Yeah.
there and oh, cool. They brought this indie game over. It's $10 more, but it looks so cool. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
that nostalgia feeling.
It is funny though, because like, do you remember back in the day, you'd get a new game, you pop it open, it would
Mhm.
have like maps and
Mhm.
posters and the manual inside, and like the whole way home, you're
Yeah.
like looking at it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing in
Yeah.
the case anymore. Like
There are a few games that
okay,
like
it's the
Limited Run does
exception.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the exception. It's not like if you go buy, I don't know, like when we go to buy Tears of the Kingdom, there probably won't be anything inside. It's just a
Which I do really like though the artwork inside of the Switch cases for
oh,
certain
when
games.
you flip around the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like some of them have like the reverse covers or like when you open it like in Breath of the Wild you see like the mountains and like Link like climbing up it. Like
Yeah.
to me like I went to a retro game store in our mall. It's like GXC or something. Uh It's like the last one in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comments if
At a
I'm
game
right.
exchange?
No, it's called GXC or GCX.
Hmm.
We'll correct it, but it's in the mall, and it was actually a chain. I think a Texas chain. Like it was the like other than GameStop, it was the other video game store in certain malls
Interesting. Okay.
and stuff. Um, but the guy has like the classic Blockbuster N64 cases and Super Nintendo
Mm.
cases and stuff. And I like went in and he had Ocarina of Time and I just flipped it over and I got like the same feeling as a kid, like remembering like seeing that box and stuff at,
Yeah.
the movie Palace tanning bed. This one, this place didn't smell of burning bodies though. It smelled
Oh,
like
that's good.
pretzels because the pretzel shops
The Auntie
nearby.
Anne's was right next to it. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
But like that's and even like most of like the Nintendo games, like Nintendo branded first party games, have cool things. Like when you open Mario Kart, you can see like, um, or Kirby, you can see like the different like the button configurations, like how to move them and stuff.
Mm.
So it's like there's something in there,
It's just not the same
but
experience as it
it's
used to be.
not the same experience. And
Like, I still have all my posters from, like, Wind Waker and
mhm,
Skyward Sword and all of that, like,
yeah,
I guess with the Wii U, I don't know how much was in the PS3. The 360 still had manuals. It was that next
yeah.
generation where they started cutting all that out, and I
Which
think it's
PS3 had a few, but it
did it?
was very short. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember, like, at some point, you might get a slip in there with, like, a free month of Xbox Live, and that was
yeah.
about all that was in there. Like,
It was
even the
right
cases
around
still have the
when
clips in there for it, but there's nothing in it.
yeah. It was right around when like the slim models came out. I noticed that Microsoft like kind of stopped with the manuals. Like the
And I
note
feel like
section and all
yeah.
that gone.
Oh,
Like
man, the notes section. Did you ever fill any of
yeah.
those out?
I did. I had a couple games. I know like in Symphony of the Night, I had to write like there's Alucard gets like dark metamorphosis and these powers, and it's like fight pad button movements that you do.
Yeah.
But you can actually you don't have to buy them and unlock them in the game. You can just do them right from the beginning of the game and you unlock it. So
Do
I
you
used
know
to write those.
what one of my most memorable inserts was?
What's that?
The original Zelda came with a map that
Oh,
wasn't completely filled out. It had
interesting.
most of the areas, but as you explored, you had to fill out the rest of the grid yourself.
That's really cool.
It was a really cool interactive thing, and, the reason that that one's so memorable to me is because that was my grandfather's absolute all-time favorite game. He knew every secret,
Hmm.
every how to play it completely 100% all the way through. He played that pretty much up until he died. Like, he bought a
Wow.
GameCube with the adapter and the Game Boy Advance version just to play it again. Um,
Phew.
and
We salute you.
yeah, and he had he had that map, he had it all filled out. This thing was torn and frayed, and like he had folded it so many times that like it was starting to just like fall
That's so
apart.
cool because it feels so real. Like it
Yeah, like it
actually
felt
would
like a
probably,
legitimate map.
yeah.
And so when I was like, I think I was like 7 or 8, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, I wrote a letter to Nintendo and asked for a new copy of it, and they had one and they sent it to me.
Wow,
And it had been well over 10 years, 10 or 11 years
man,
since that game came out.
that's
I'm
beautiful.
trying to think,
That brought
when
a tear to
did
my eye.
NES come out? Was that 86, 87,
I believe so.
something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, and I probably asked for that in 98, 99, something like that.
Jeez.
And I have one more game insert that I love. Hold on. It's a little beat up, but
Oh, dude. So
the
this
OG.
gaming
See, like
store I went to,
they just don't make them like that anymore.
yeah. Well, this guy had game manuals and he had some N64 ones, and I was hoping so bad he had the Ocarina of Time manual.
Yeah.
Um, but oh, that's
Because like
so
this
cool.
one had the whole story inside. Like they
Yeah.
and you could read this, which if I had bought it in the car, I mean I would have read this thing 20 times on the way home. Um I
Did they
woke up
add
to
that
the
in the
game.
3DS version? Like, because
That
I
story?
know
I don't know. I actually never played the 3D Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask.
they're beautiful. Majora's Mask is hit or miss. It's divided, but because I know like they did a Nintendo Selects version of Ocarina of Time, but I
Mhm.
think the original 3DS launch of Ocarina of Time had a book in it. And but
Interesting.
still, that's so cool though. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So anyways, back to the original topic, which was Phil Spencer accepting defeat. I
it's a
wonder
bummer because
I wonder how, the whole constantly waging war of, the console wars. I wonder how all that's going right now.
I've given up. Like I honestly I've never been like this is better. This is this. Like I mean I have my preferences,
Yeah.
but I think all even my like I still love Xbox even though there are some moments where I'm like why? I mean I get that with Nintendo, but I have to say though Nintendo, despite like how the Wii U was, or even the Virtual Boy, you had complete games still.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, the Wii U did get Breath of the Wild. It had a Smash Bros. It had Mario Kart 8, which has become the biggest Mario Kart
Right.
ever.
Yeah.
I
They're just
mean,
keeping that one going. They're still releasing tracks for
you
that.
had the launch of Splatoon,
Mhm.
which is like huge now, and and Bayonetta 2. Like
Mhm.
I could go on and on. And then like Microsoft like gets these opportunities, like literally everything that they've recently done. Even you go back to Halo Infinite, it's been a flop. Like, I mean, people still play and they're fixing it, but it's just that like that's the reason why I kind of backed off some of those games and systems is because it's like I don't want to pay $70 now and then have to wait.
Right.
So, like I'm okay. Like yeah, I get it. Like the Switch is gonna like Tears of the Kingdom is gonna have some issues, but I can still play the whole game. You
The
know?
issues won't be that bad.
Yeah.
Like it may be some really obscure thing, but they QA'd the mess out of that game.
Hmm.
Like when it goes gold, it goes gold.
Yeah.
Other games are like, yeah, we've gone gold, and that's like, have you though?
Yeah.
Or did
Yeah.
you go like tarnished bronze?
uh,
But
well, still love you, Phil Spencer. Keep your head up, but get
I
some
mean,
better games
yeah,
out there.
give your studios some freedom.
Yeah.
Let them explore something creative.
I mean, fix it, Like I mean, I make mistakes, but when I submit my music and, get these songs out, like I take my time with it. Took me 2.5 years to get one of my albums out and it's doing the best it's ever done. So common sense. Anyways, give me some news before I just rant about this even more.
um, I mean, I don't have any news. I'm
Oh, you don't
relying on
have any
you.
news?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been sick, so like
Yeah.
I've just been laying in bed pretty much, and
Well,
I'll that'll come back around when I go to what I've been playing. But
do you want the sad news or do you want like the exciting news? How about we do the sad
let's do
since we're
sad, and
already
then we'll
like
end it on
okay.
exciting. Yeah.
There are rumors No Nintendo Direct this June.
Interesting. Which, I mean, I guess I can't think of anything big they would have announced that quickly after Tears of the Kingdom, because it seems like they wouldn't want to cannibalize any sales. They're gonna milk Tears of the Kingdom for as much as they can and as long as they can.
Do you know why they probably don't want to do a Direct? That
Why?
I think they're going to announce the Switch 2 or the successor this year.
Or yeah.
That's kind of the theory. Cuz I feel like we had a really jam-packed year with the Switch to kind of like get the last of everything out.
Yeah, like maybe Tears of the Kingdom is the last big release for it.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, maybe we will get a Direct where they're like, we'll bring Twilight, Wind Waker, here a couple, because there are rumors like the Paper Mario remaster. There's been rumors about F-Zero GX. So maybe they'll be like, here's this, and final thing will be like, Switch 2 or VR, whatever they're gonna twist our eyes.
What are you gonna do if it's VR?
Well, Nintendo's what got me into gaming. Nintendo is what got me into open world games. I would try it. VR? I think so.
For those of you, for context, for those of you watching and or listening, Chris does not handle VR well.
Yeah, I have sensory panic disorder. I've gotten a lot better with it, with therapy and medication. But some things, like my wife, we went to Universal not too long ago, loved it, had a great time. Disney as well. But some of the rides have like screens and all kinds of stuff, and it was just way too much. Like
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Or what were you going to say?
How do you do with 3D movies?
I don't like them.
Don't like them?
I'll take the glasses off.
Did you get to watch a blurry mess?
Yeah. Even the 3DS, like I almost was tempted to break the 3D Switch, so I couldn't even.
That one,
like
I ended up playing in 2D a lot. That one hurt my eyes, and at the time, I didn't have a panic disorder.
But I feel like Nintendo would be smart about it. I feel like they've kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we have to really take into, the effect of kids with panic disorders or epilepsy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it would have to be an add-on, because again, like you're not supposed to do VR. I think it's under 12.
Yeah.
Kids, small children, especially, because they're still developing their depth perception.
Yeah.
And doing a lot of VR can mess with their development.
I really do think Nintendo's kind of playing their cards right, and I do think we're going to get a more powerful Switch with like a quirk to it, so
Pokemon's still going to look terrible.
Probably, probably, but still, like, I don't know. I would be a little bit disappointed, but like, they released the OLED, and like I was like, oh my god, a new system. It's the same internals, which I really do think that was supposed to be the Pro, but I love it. Like, I was almost tempted to get the Tears of the Kingdom one just to but the screen and everything was it was a big improvement. So I'm like, okay, if Nintendo can, like, they got the online stuff down, if they could kind of fix like the infrastructure of like the eShop online play.
That's never happening. That's wishful thinking. But they are leaning more toward online gaming now. Like, I think they're finally starting to get it there. 10 years behind the curve.
It's kind of funny though, because like I can hop on Minecraft on my Switch faster than I can on my Xbox.
Interesting.
And so like, and it's funny because that's, once again, Microsoft,
it's their own
company.
Yeah.
Some games are awful, but like,
at least they didn't ruin Minecraft.
Yeah, I think it's just like the basic features, voice chat, all that, Discord.
It is, because you still have to use the app on your phone, right? If you want to do voice chat.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, I just use Discord. Right. Like I'm fine with just like, I don't care about, like, I'm not that type of gamer that needs a headset or needs this or that. And at that point, just play an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Yeah,
like, or go PC.
I could see them doing similar to the 3DS after the DS, which is, it's fully backwards compatible, same slot,
Mm-hmm.
same cards effectively. Like the 3DS had like one little extra notch, so you couldn't
Mm-hmm.
put a 3DS game in a regular DS.
Yeah.
And they've probably already planned for all of that. So
I would think
I think it'd
so.
be cool.
Or they're going to come out 100% digital or cloud gaming.
Uh,
Or my crazy theory is they're going to make a phone. Nintendo's going to go into the phone market and do like their own like 5G, their own like straight up phone
I'm trying to
kind of
think what
thing.
the benefit of can you imagine a phone with a Nintendo UI?
Yeah.
That would just be the worst.
Nintendo phone. And the first game that's going to launch on it is Nintendogs.
I would be down for that. I would totally go
I
for another
I would
Nintendogs.
totally get Nintendogs. I would so get that in a heartbeat.
Man, that'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
I miss
But
Nintendogs.
I think Nintendo's in the right direction to just up their console.
Yeah.
And I think it would probably launch, like, obviously Metroid Prime 4 is kind of like the rumor. Maybe Mario Odyssey 2, that's been another rumor. Or like
They
launch with those, but
have been pretty quiet about Mario lately.
they have. And Shigeru Miyamoto did say, like it was an interview, I believe with IGN. He was talking about new movies, and he's like, like obviously they're going to do more.
Yeah.
But they were like, well, what about Mario? What's next? And he's like, you're just going to have to pay attention to future directs, like kind of like that. But they said that they're always, I mean, Nintendo's constantly working on this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just like PlayStation already has design plans for like the 6, the 7, like they're already like working. I think it'd be really cool Switch 2 launch with like Metroid Prime 4, all that Mario game, but then throw in like Resident Evil 4 remake, like get some like third party games, or like Elden Ring. I feel like Elden Ring would be a launch.
Elden Ring on the
Yeah.
Switch would be
Yeah.
amazing.
I feel like they are gonna, because like they did that with Skyrim. People were like, "Oh my god!" And then Diablo 3, and they're like, "Wait, what? Like I can play this now?" But I think it's gonna be hard because the Steam Deck can already do all that.
That is true.
So it's gonna. I don't know if it's. Do you think it would have the same perception as like the Switch did at first, or do you think people are just gonna be like, "Oh, well, I can already do this on"? Which people were already kind of like, they're like, oh, the Switch, you can play Dying Light on the go. I can do that on my laptop, like.
I mean, yeah, not the
It's
same
different.
way, but yeah.
It's not the same way, but.
Yeah, I don't know how a Switch 2 would be received. I mean, it's been long enough, but yeah, I think it might take a little while to get adopted, which I
Yeah.
say that, but if there's some, huge, massive improvement over the regular Switch, then yeah, but I don't know what they could possibly put in it that would make it far better. Like, you have to see this, you have to switch. Because the thing with the 3DS was the gimmick was 3D.
Yeah.
I don't know what gimmick they could put into a Switch 2 that would make it better. Other than,
I really do
what if we end
think
up with
it's
another 3D
just,
slider?
I think what's so cool about Nintendo is they're just so behind that it's always a surprise. Like,
Right.
so like me personally, like, yeah, it'd be awesome if like they just make a Switch 2 that's powerful, because then it's like, okay, like I already have all these games, like I can just move it over.
Yeah.
Because the Switch still feels new to me, being like, dude, like I was playing Dying Light the other day, and I'm like, oh man, like I can just pick this up and go, because it's a console. Like it's the first time like that this is your console and you can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
No cloud gimmicks, Wi-Fi gimmicks, none of that.
I could definitely see them going into like the haptic triggers like the PS5 has. I could see that
Yeah.
being on the next one. That's just another issue for a potential Joy-Con to have, though. Hopefully upgraded joysticks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I still have to deal with drift.
Do you think that they would do another screen, but it would be like on the controller? So
I
you
don't
know
know
how the
about that.
DualSense has, what if they put a little screen in the controller, because people miss having like the map on the controller, like during a Zelda game, like in the Wii U, you had like your map and you could do everything. What if they like added something, and it would only work dock mode?
I mean, it would be cool if there was like a flip up screen or something, like a second screen of some sort. Flip up, flip down, or what if it's another clamshell console?
Be interesting.
Would
I
protect the
think they're
screen.
done. I think they're done with having two consoles.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think that, and I personally wouldn't want this, but I don't think they're going to make like another 3DS, or they're going to make a, you know,
Yeah. No, it's all in one now.
yeah.
Which is why
If anything,
I'm kind of bummed though, because like I said in an earlier episode, I kind of want another 2D top down Zelda.
yeah,
And there's not an incentive really to make that because it's all one console.
it's true. Unless they're doing another remake,
Which
or
I would take, but
maybe they will make a new top-down Zelda.
I
Who
mean, if it looks
knows?
more like Link's Awakening, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I want that old style.
Have you played Blossom Tales?
Blossom Tales. No.
You should play those. They're really good.
Okay.
Top-down Zelda-esque game.
I'll try it out.
Okay, so that's the sad stuff. The cool stuff is Nintendo Treehouse live event coming back. They're gonna do gameplay Tears of the Kingdom May 11th.
Ooh, day before.
So yeah, the day before. So be on the lookout for that. I probably won't watch a whole lot of it because I've been doing my best to not.
Oh yeah, no,
spoiled.
I've been avoiding everything since.
Mm. Well, that's it
by
with the news.
By the time this
Sorry.
episode comes out, that's the day of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this episode will be out, I guess, May 11th then.
Very excited. Very excited. So let's talk about what we're playing this week. Kick it off, man.
Yeah, so I've been sick, as you can tell by the occasional coughing. Feeling better now.
Smoking.
But just yeah. No, I do not smoke. But so I was laying in bed pretty much all weekend. Like, felt rotten. And I got tired of scrolling on my phone. And in between, naps and medicine and all that, I just like went and grabbed the Switch and I was like, I wonder what's on the store. Like, I haven't, scrolled through here for a while. And remember we talked about Okami and how I'd never played it. I avoided it for like well over 15 years, all because of a slightly odd classmate of mine. It's pretty cool. So I bought it. Was on sale. It was on
you
sale
got
for,
it.
Yeah, it was on sale for like $10.
Oh, it's so worth it.
Started playing it. It's the intro cutscenes are so long, but once I made it past that and like really got in there and realized you could use the touch screen for your brushstrokes, yeah, it was really cool. So I cleared, Kamiko Village, and I think it's Shinji Field or something.
Yeah.
I finished all that. I'm in the forest now.
Beautiful, man.
So I did that for the first, couple days that I was sick and just, plugged it in, laid in bed. And yeah, in between naps, every chance I got, I was on it, playing it. It's a good game.
That's so cool.
It did hold up. The art style is really cool. I'm really enjoying that one.
I like Amy's, like when you're running, you can feel it in the Joy-Con and the controller, like her paws and stuff. And Asun is such a good sidekick, man. Like, and the story gets way better. Like the boss fights, are very cool. I've been playing Okami since 2008.
Nice. Yeah, I think it said it came out in 06 or 07.
Yeah. The PS2 or the Wii that's PS2 version.
The original? Yeah.
The original, yeah. The Wii version came out 08. And I bought that like with Jess when we first started dating. And I am at I've been playing it this whole time, which I picked it up again on the Switch. I'm at the very last area and I refuse to beat it because I'm just like, dude, like it's like that Ocarina of Time moment where it's like, I don't want it to end kind of, but already it's been so long. I'm like, I want to do this again. And
nice. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to finishing that one up. The other game that I'm playing, and this is when I was feeling better enough to migrate to the couch. I was like, all right, well, I've got this one for when I'm, stuck in bed. I was like, let me go check on the PS5 and see if there's anything cool on there that I was going to go check PlayStation Now, PlayStation Plus, see what's going on. And another game that was on sale that I've had my eye on it for a long time. I have never played any of their Persona games.
Oh,
And I'd
okay.
heard really good
Yeah.
things about Persona 5. And
Yeah.
so downloaded that one. What a cool game.
That whole series is
Like
really,
the
really
art
cool.
style, the music, the voice acting is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm just about done with the first, I think, like segment of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And like it gets pretty dark at times, like the themes and the
Oh, yeah.
story of it.
Yeah.
And but the combat's pretty fun. It's just such a stylish game.
It is.
Super
And
cool.
it's a good, like, it's its own JRPG. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
like it's
like
so
anything.
unique.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I don't know, there's just so much about it that it was refreshing because I almost bought Final Fantasy X for the 20th time. I saw that it was on the Switch. I almost bought Kingdom Hearts again. I saw that the cloud version is now on Switch, for
Yes,
1, 2, and 3,
that's
and Chain of
the
Memories,
whole
the whole
thing.
pack, yeah, and that was like
Yeah, that's been a
45 or 50.
huge topic for
Has
it's
it?
been out for a while, but yeah, that people were very heated about that, which
Why?
I mean, let's be real here. I mean, you can get Witcher 3 on Switch, you can get Doom Eternal on Switch, but you can't get Kingdom Hearts
Right,
on
like,
Switch.
why is it the cloud version?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I get maybe Kingdom Hearts 3, but at the end of the day, like I said a few days ago, I was playing Dying Light and like, yeah, it doesn't look fantastic, but it looks good. And like Crisis, you got Crisis on the Switch.
right.
The remastered version, not the just the 360 port,
Yeah.
the full-blown remastered. So yeah, they Square Enix definitely could have got Kingdom Hearts fully on there. And that's a whole thing. Anything else you've been playing this week?
No, those are the main 2. Just waiting on Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep. So I haven't played too much. The big game for me, well, I haven't played too much because I'm, you know, staying fresh for Tears of the Kingdom,
Right, yeah.
saving my eyeballs, the strain. The main game for me though is I picked up a indie 2D Metroidvania called After Image,
Okay.
and very cool. It's very similar to Hollow Knight, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Beautiful backgrounds, great music, good story. You get different weapons, items, abilities, bosses. It's kind of like the art style kind of reminds me of Child of Light a little
Mm,
bit as
okay, so
well.
kind of that
Um,
isometric view?
yeah, but it was really cool though. I actually played it on PS5 first, so I didn't get a PS5. But my friend, you're just glaring at me
No, I was
now,
like,
like
"Wait, you didn't tell me you got a PS5?"
Yeah, I'm not going to tell my bud, that I
Yeah.
do a podcast with every week, my gaming. No, one of my friends, he's a gamer as well. We go to this movie trading here in Denton, and he just got a PS5, and we were looking at games, and they actually had a physical copy for it. So he's
Nice.
like binging physical copies right now,
Yeah.
and went back to his apartment, played it on the PS5, which I enjoyed it. It was cool. It was smooth. Liked the controller a lot. And I was like, oh wait, I think this is on Switch, and sure enough, it was on Switch. So
Nice.
cool. So I picked it up. Been playing that. Um,
What else?
Kind of random. Ninja Gaiden. Been going back through the
Which one?
Ninja Gaiden games. Ninja Gaiden 2 right now.
Nice.
So I missed playing those games. Love them. They're difficult. Good challenge. And yeah, waiting
Yeah.
for Tears of the Kingdom. So
Alright. Just a few more days. And by the time this
few more
airs,
days.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Or tonight at midnight.
Yep.
If it's right, because it's coming out on Friday.
Coming out on
And
Friday.
this
Yeah.
episode will come out on Thursday, so tonight at midnight for those of you listening or watching.
So exciting. Yeah. And let us know in the comments what you think of the Nintendo Treehouse
Oh yeah,
gameplay.
yeah. If you watched it,
Yeah.
let us know.
Yep. So our main topic, gaming with kids. So me
The
and
whole
Josh,
world changes.
we both have kids. His are older. Mine is one. I only have one. So I'm
for
gonna let
now.
you kick this off because you have more experience with this.
Yeah, so
So-
just kind of wanted to do this episode for those of our listeners and watchers that also have small children or are expecting children. This will be kind of, the dad's guide to gaming with kids. So the main thing I wanted to start off with is just like how habits have changed as far as gaming is concerned. And because it almost seems like when you first have kids, you're like, oh, am I ever going to be able to play games again? The
Mhm.
interesting part is that, especially if you get some sort of paternity leave or maternity leave, the first, 4 to 6 weeks of having a kid, they don't do anything but sleep and cry and poop. That's it. And they sleep like 18 hours a day. So like I did not play more games except like I had never played more games in my life. That's all that I did. Like two
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning, wake up with the baby, you know, go play a game and pat him back to sleep. Sleep schedule's
Mhm.
just all over the place. Did you? Was that your experience?
It's a little different. It was similar. Um, I I I played, I guess, more when she was sleeping than
Yeah,
yeah. That but no, it was similar. Yeah.
yeah. Because there's not really like you're like, all right, do something, and they
Hmm.
literally don't do anything for the
Yeah,
first like
yeah,
6 months of their lives.
yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of game playing then, but the the good news is that right around that time, Breath of the Wild had come out for me, and
Hmm.
with the design of that game, with the shrines and everything, really you could do with like 10 to 15 minute chunks.
Go at a pace,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so and then with the sleep mode on consoles now, like that's going to be absolute.
Hmm.
That was the game changer right there, because you can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hit the home button, pause it exactly where you're at, set it down, go do what you need to do, come back. I found myself using that a ton. Like I didn't really care about the sleep function up until then.
Hmm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of playing in 10 to 15-minute segments that
Yeah,
started happening
yeah.
around then. As they get older, the habits start to change a little bit more. It's harder to play in the living room because they're like on top of you, like, what are you playing? And you have to be careful about what you play now. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
more Grand Theft Auto 5 on the living room TV. Um, you got to be careful with like Red Dead Redemption, Resident Evil. Like that's put the kids to bed at 8,
Hmm.
8:30, and you got to play it in the evenings. Or like I do now, I stream it to my computer in my office.
Smart. Very
Yep.
smart. Yeah,
Yeah. How have your
yeah.
gaming habits changed since having a kid?
More late night.
Yeah.
So the first 5 months, it was kind of like you said, where I didn't play when she was awake unless me and Jess were switching parent duties.
Hmm.
And we were really thankful for this. I mean, we couldn't get Jenny into a daycare until she was 6, 7 months old.
Yeah.
So we had a family member watch Jenny. So um, it just turned into late night gaming, which I prefer that anyways. I play during the day a little bit now on the times that I have gaps in between lessons and stuff, and Jenny's in daycare.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's one, so like we actually, and I have nothing against kids with screens or anything. Like I'm not going on a tangent here, but we actually have kept Jenny away from screens at
Good.
her age.
Yeah.
She does gravitate towards our phones, but I don't give my phone to her. I don't let her play with my phone. I take it away. Um, I just she's not ready yet. Like there's no reason why a 1 year old should be playing on a cell phone. Like
Yeah.
my personal opinion, I don't hand it to her when she throws fits. When she throws a fit, she throws a fit in public. Like that's I've seen so many people just like give the phone or the
Hmm.
tablet to them, and it's like no, like my kid's gonna cry because she's a kid,
Yeah.
like and she's not getting what she wants or whatever. So,
So that's an interesting one because we were a lot better about phone time, tablet time with our first.
hmm
And then the second one comes along and they
hmm
see Big Brother, in this case, Big Brother, playing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot harder. Like, there's no keeping it from them at that point because, like, they're like, "Oh, well, if he
How
has
old?
it." I mean, Nate really, I guess, started paying attention around 1.5.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
I've noticed
and then
Jenny's
he
gravid.
had his own tablet
Yeah.
by 2
Yeah.
because it just, like, was turning into a
Um,
big fight.
well, I think, yeah, that's a really good example. And I mean, I'm sure it would be very, like, I'm going to let Jenny play, and when she gets old enough, play on the Switch, watch TV, that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, I'm not opposed to that. But, um, we started her off with like sensory toys and
Good. Yeah.
stuff. Because my wife is a OT
Mhm.
therapist, so we started her with sensory toys, and we have several friends that would kick the TV on. I mean, you got to do what you got to do as a parent. Like, I feel
Yeah.
for you. Trust me. Like, I have my ups and downs with my daughter. I'm not saying this is perfect for everybody, um, but I'm very natural about it. Like, Jenny plays with her toys. She loves running up to the door. She walks around the house and likes getting into things. And I
Yeah.
love that. Instead of like going straight to, she's walking into my music studio now and she's strumming all my guitars. And I'm like, I'm
Nice.
not going to force music on her.
Yeah.
But like, I picked up video games when I was 6 because my parents, one, we didn't have consoles, and two, like, they didn't show a lot of that stuff to me. They
Yeah.
had the TV on, but all I cared about was Thomas the Tank Engine and Mega Man.
Nice.
Like, that was it. Um, so I think Jenny might go the same way. I don't know, because I don't game in front of her a lot. I actually don't game in front of her really at all right now.
Interesting. Yeah,
And it's not yeah,
this'll
it's
be a fun
not that
experiment.
yeah, it's not that I don't want to. Like, when she was first born, I played the first game I showed her was Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Mhm.
And she watched it a little bit, but I mean, they could barely keep their eyes open
Yeah.
at that stage. And I did do a lot of gaming because I was going through the fat dad phase where, I was tired. I was working. I only got, I didn't even get a whole week off
Oh, man.
to, because in-laws really, really wanted, I'm sorry if you're listening, but, you got to hear it. You guys intruded on my week off with my daughter. So still love you, but I'm still a little bitter about that. So, uh, yeah, but, I think too, it relies on your partner. I mean, like, I have a phenomenal wife and you do too. And we understand our times, or, what we have to do to survive. And, um, I, I mean, my wife's great and she, understands that gaming is a therapy for me. So there were
Yeah.
times where I was like, hey, it's like smoking a cigarette, which I never smoked, but like, it's like, I need to do
Like,
this
you have to
to just
have
keep
that
my
little release, yeah.
sanity. Yeah. But it just came with scheduling. I would say for me, it got easier when we did sleep training. My daughter has been sleeping 11 hours a night since the age of 5 months.
I'm so jealous.
Um, that one gave us more time. And so now it's kind of like when before we had a kid, where it's like, I do my stuff I have to do during the day. If I get some time gaps, instead of scrolling on social media or on my phone, I'll play around a Mario Kart or Smash
Yeah.
or something. Come home, have family time, and then it's like, I'm going to game before bed or do a podcast.
Nice.
So
Yeah, there you go. Talk about games.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with it.
Nice.
So
Yeah, we didn't do as good with our second, which he was a pandemic baby. He was born, like, right at the start in 2020.
yeah,
And, like, we were all stuck at home, and, like, games are pretty much what got us through that. Games and,
yeah, yeah.
movies, TV, and all that. Because I was, trying to figure out how to work from home full time.
Hmm.
Um, having everybody at the house was just a totally different change of pace. And then, jumping from one kid to two, it's a pretty big change in lifestyle.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
you'll see that when you get there. I was like, how bad can it be? And then it happened, and I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is crazy.
I don't know if I'm gonna have a second kid. I don't
No?
know.
Don't know.
I mean, like, part of me wants to, but I don't know.
It's
Just Jenny's
fun.
everything.
Yeah.
Jenny's everything. I do play like the times I do play in front of her are when um if she like grabs like my Switch, or like I have all my consoles in my media room and she'll like go up. She loves turning on the PlayStation on and off because the beep. So she'll do that. And she grabs my Switch controllers, you know. She loves getting the controllers. I had to actually hang. I have a old guitar that Jess turned into a shelf for me, and has all my controllers on it.
Yeah.
Uh, and but like when she does do that, I might pop on Breath of the Wild or something kid friendly.
Yeah.
But okay, like technically my parents shouldn't have let me play games this bad when I was like 6, but like one of my first games was Resident Evil 2.
Nice.
And like my parents got an N64 with like heavy games on it. And I was playing Kirby and like Jenny was like kind of into it. And then she walked into the room when I was playing Resident Evil 3 Remake, and she saw Nemesis and she just started smiling and laughing and clapping. And I'm like, like literally had just got a headshot on a zombie, and she was like clapping like she does that for more, like she signs for more. And I'm like, oh my God. But like those are the moments where it's like, okay, like you shouldn't be seeing this, but like it's so cute. Like I'm gonna let it slide.
Right.
Just that
Yeah.
once,
She won't
you know?
remember this. It'll be fine.
Yeah, she won't remember.
Looking back, like I think I started gaming at probably like the earliest memory I have is in my grandparents' house in Arizona. And they
Mhm.
had the way that their living room was set up, like you walked from the kitchen, they had all the couches and they kind of had a section squared off. And then behind one of the couches was like the door to go outside, but there was this big kind of walkway.
Mhm.
They had a TV set up on top of a dresser with the NES. And I remember playing, Ninja Turtles, Zelda, like a lot of the I didn't know what I was doing. And
Mhm.
that's what's interesting to me because like I have memories of playing those, no idea what was going on, no concept of like game
Yeah.
rules or anything like that. And then I look at my oldest and he's been playing games since he was probably 2.5.
Mhm.
Like he has watched me and like he played games on my phone. And then I think when he was close to 3 is when we got him his own tablet. Like he started off with a Kindle Fire because they were cheap. And then we ended up with, I think there was a free iPad promo or something when we upgraded our
Mhm.
phones and we got, an iPad, got the big rubbery case that went on it.
Yeah.
And most of it was, it was downloaded like Disney movies or
Mhm.
um, TV shows, PJ Masks, Paw Patrol, stuff like that. And then we started finding like Mario Run. He played a little bit of that one. Um, and then just watching him at the age of 4 and then through 5 and then now 6, like that kid is far better at games at that age than I could have dreamed. Um,
Mhm.
like he understands the rules. And the interesting thing that I've watched is his hand-eye coordination is fantastic. Like I always heard
Yeah.
that games will give you good hand-eye coordination, but him playing baseball, or when he played soccer, like he's a decently athletic kid, and his hand-eye
Mhm.
coordination is awesome. But his
Yeah.
logic skills are what stand out to me. Like he the kid solves puzzles and he loves mazes, and like he's smart as a whip. And I think part of that has been just from like all the games that he's played.
Yeah. It's the games that he's played and the parenting done right.
Well, some of that. I mean, I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of times where he definitely had a tablet when we should have been making him go play outside or play in his room. But both kids, they do a decently good job of when they don't have their tablets,
Mhm.
um, or their games or whatever. Like they still have good imaginations. They'll play with toys. They love playing outside, and like
Yeah.
my oldest is in sports now, and he's pretty good at it.
Yeah. But you guys
So there's a
implemented
good there's a
that.
good balance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys didn't like, and that's what I'm getting at with my viewpoint on like just handing the kid the phone. Like, yeah, you may have done that a couple times. Like, yeah,
yeah,
there's been a couple times Jenny does grab my phone and like it's cute, you know?
yeah,
But like you still
The games and
say
the consoles and the tablets are not babysitting our kids.
yes,
At least always.
exactly.
Sometimes they
Yeah.
are, because
And that's
we're
my
in
issue
survival
is
mode, but
like yeah, like I mean, I know and I'm not I'm not like opposed to this because like I don't want to get like a lot of hate for it because like I said one of the first real games I played was Resident Evil 2 and like the zombies didn't scare me, the game didn't scare me. I just loved the puzzles. I
yeah.
loved the puzzles and all that stuff. You had a gun, you had ammunition, you had gore.
Dude,
I'm
I'm still
fine.
scared of that game.
Yeah.
I don't know
But
how
like
6-year-old you handled that.
yeah, but you know, there are like some parents that are like, "Here's Grand Theft Auto, kid. Like, have a good time," and they're like
So,
5.
dude, my dad, to be fair to my dad, he didn't know what was in that game. He bought it for me. He got me Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember. I think I was 9 or 10, something like that. I
Mhm.
remember I had it on the PS2. And yeah, then he started playing it with me, but he would make me turn the volume way down.
It's
And
awesome.
so, but I mean, really, we didn't do at that age. I didn't do a lot of the story. It was
Yeah.
mostly just like drive around, steal cars, and this sounds like it's so wholesome,
Yeah.
but drive around, steal cars, get a high wanted level, and then see how long I could survive against the police.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I used to do that. My uncle would be like, "I'll give you $20 if you can get 6 stars or whatever the stars, you know." After I picked up a
Yeah.
couple hoes and anyways,
Yeah, so the next like subtopic I wanted to jump into, and I know you're not quite there yet, but like the best
mhm.
games to play with small children. And I
Mm.
love, and it's all mainly Nintendo, and I love that they've gone this direction, but um Odyssey has easy mode number 1, where
Yeah.
like you can, if you stand still, you regenerate health. You can fall
Mhm.
off a cliff and a bubble will pull you right back up. And it
Mhm.
also has arrows showing you which way to go. And then the
Yeah.
other cool feature is like if you want to play with them or they want to play with you, like you can control Mario, you can hand them another Joy-Con or something, and they can control Cappy.
Mhm.
It's just so well done. And like it toes that line of like letting them play
Mhm.
without like them totally ruining your experience. Like it's fun for both of us. And that's a very hard multiplayer like co-op line to hit, and Nintendo does it so
Yeah.
well. They did the same
Yeah,
thing with Kirby Forgotten Lands,
yeah, and
where
I
you
mean
could
Mario
play as
Kart has the
Tweedledee.
yeah, Mario Kart has the assist. You know,
hmm
you can like turn all
Yeah,
that on.
so that was one of the first games that my oldest played because I could turn on um, acceleration assist and
Mhm.
steering assist, and basically, if you could just set the controller down, and your cart will make it through the whole race.
I was so bummed when I first got Mario Kart because I was like, I'm doing so good, and I was getting everything, and all that stuff was turned on. So
I can
I'm
do it
much
without
better now
touching the
at it.
controller. I'm psychic.
We should stream a night where like I have that on and you don't, and we'll see who wins.
Oh, I'll win every time. I'm just kidding. I'm not that great at Mario Kart. My wife is way better at it than I am.
But, you know, keep in mind that like Nintendo obviously I think is like king for like kid games and stuff. But I mean, like Microsoft Minecraft, that's great. And
Yeah.
PlayStation, like PlayStation 5 with the Astros Playroom. Like, I mean, as a kid being young, like I mean, still that is a super creative game.
Yeah,
And
Astros went really well, or like went over
mhm,
well with my oldest. And Minecraft. I mean, there was a good 2-3 month period there where I would play it on my computer, he would play it on his iPad,
mhm.
and I started a little local server on on my computer, and we built
Yeah.
up like a whole city. And that's one of my best memories now, and I don't know
Yeah.
that he'll remember much of that when he's older, but,
Mhm.
um, I mean, that's just kind of the thing, like, we'll go outside and we'll play catch and, we'll go to the playground and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but, like, most of the memories that I have and I'm going to have with him revolve around games.
Yeah. Um Another game, Roblox, is really, really booming right now.
Yeah, so I
Um,
kept him away from that for a long, long
really?
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Roblox, it's more of a platform. Like Minecraft is safe.
Mhm.
There is chat, like if you go onto main servers and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but the content is pretty well controlled.
Mhm.
Roblox is a whole other story. Um,
Yeah.
like there's anybody can put a game on there. There's just, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different games. You don't know what the music's
Mm-hmm.
going to be, or any of the content that's in there, the chat, all the
Mm-hmm.
friend requests and all that. And so I
So I've
kept him
seen
from that for a
I've
long
seen
time.
some positive from it actually.
Yeah.
With some of my students, they are a little bit older, but I do agree with you. Like, yeah, filtering out
Yeah.
that stuff, and I don't know if there is an option to where you can filter it
There
out, or if
is.
there's like
Yeah.
a kids
So,
mode.
so I looked
Yeah.
into it and I made him an account when he was 5. I made him
Okay.
wait until he's
Yeah.
at least 5, and I
Hmm.
turned off chat. And then, I think, yeah, he has friend requests turned on.
Hmm.
And then there's no transactions. So he can't spend money and he
Yeah.
can't chat with people.
That's good.
Yeah. There
Um,
are parental
it's been the,
controls.
it's been the music. The music's phenomenal in some of the games that people make.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's all, whatever they want to
yeah.
upload.
Uh, I've had several students where they want to learn songs from it, and it's like underground artists like me, where
Yeah.
it's like this guy. Like sometimes the music's better than the game that was built. Like, no offense to you
That's
Roblox
probably true a
creators,
lot of the time.
but yeah, no, some of it, like one of my students is doing a talent drumming to a talent show piece with the Roblox song, and it's like it's a
Nice.
bop, man. It's
Yeah.
it's cool. So that's kind of another thing that I see a lot is, I mean, I teach music lessons and I have a wide demographic, but I see a lot of kids that are, responsible with games,
Mhm.
tablets, phones. But then I do get some kids that are unfortunately like hooked to it,
Yeah.
like hooked to the point where they want to learn the State Farm songs from ads on
Oh my
guitar,
gosh. That's
or
depressing.
like the Burger King ads. They want to
Yeah.
learn like that, and I'm like, oh man, like,
That's tough.
okay, I'm gonna teach it to you because it's what you want to do, but like at the end of the day, there's better music out
Yeah.
there.
So
So,
that's where it comes in with the whole second kid thing,
mm-hmm,
because like that's all my older one talks about is like Roblox.
mm-hmm,
Like sometimes, and then my younger sees him talking about that, and then that's all he wants to do is play Roblox. Well, I made Jack wait until 5, but like, can I just not let him play Roblox? Like, he doesn't have his own account. He'll sometimes play on my iPad.
mm-hmm.
Because now I made an account, my wife made an account, and then we'll play with Jack on games some nights. Like instead, like in lieu of a bedtime story, like we'll all hop on Roblox and play a few rounds. Um, but now Nate plays some, but he's so young that like he's thrown tantrums because we're like, no Roblox today. And
Mm-hmm.
so like that's a tough thing because he's too young to understand having that balance. But it was hard to keep it from him when his older brother gets to do it. So it's one of those things that it's tough as a parent because
Mm-hmm.
I looked at things that like my sister wasn't allowed to do, and then I was allowed to do it a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And she's been playfully mad about that. I say playfully, she's probably bitter about it, but
Mm-hmm.
um, like I kind of understand it though. I mean, it's really really tough, especially he wants to be just like his brother,
Yeah.
and like there's going to be a tantrum one way or another. So I don't really know what the answer there is. So he gets to play it a little bit, but it's heavily heavily monitored.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah.
Tough decisions there. Yeah. Man.
But yeah, gaming with kids, it's not all bad. I personally think the benefits outweighs the cons. I mean, I was raised by games. That's how I learned to read. I
Mm-hmm.
learned all my logic and puzzle skills, and now my job is mostly logic based.
Yeah.
And I credit Zelda with a lot of that,
Yes.
and other games with just puzzles.
Yeah.
Um, Pokemon taught me to read and strategy and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's no different than a lot of families grow up with board games. Same thing.
Yeah. Board games are
Yeah.
sports. I mean,
And
they're
yeah, my hand-eye
sports.
coordination is pretty good.
Yeah. I
So,
always loved, when big sports parents were like, "Oh, you play guitar all day or you play video games all day, you need to be out playing sports, but then they never played a sport, but they're like imitating the sport in front of the TV.
I think my favorite one is like, why do people watch other people play games? And it's like, why do you watch football?
Yes, yeah, I saw that. I
It's the
saw
same
that
thing.
the other day. It's the same exact thing, man.
Why play it? Why watch someone play it when you could go play it? Well, I don't see you out there throwing a football around.
Yeah.
And for those of you watching and listening, it's Mother's Day this weekend. So don't forget that. And for any of you moms watching, happy Mother's Day. Am I wrong? It is Mother's Day this weekend, right?
Yeah, no. It is Mother's Day weekend. Don't choose Tears of the Kingdom over your wife or your mother
or dude. That's fine.
Or dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, or get it for them if they're into that sort of thing.
This is great. This is interesting. This is the weirdest episode I think we've done.
It is pretty weird. This one's gone off on a lot of tangents.
Yeah. Yeah. But
we may be. This is the parenting episode.
This is the parenting episode, yeah.
Last thing on the kids and video games thing. This is just a funny anecdote. So I remember we were out at the family cabin, and my grandma was there, and my son grabs his tablet and he's like, Nana, I want to show you something. It's on my tablet. He was like, I want to show you my favorite song. And she made that kind of like, oh, these kids and their tablets, it's always on their tablet. And he pulls up he's sitting over kind of on the couch and she can't see his tablet. And he starts, I think it's Row, Row, Row Your Boat starts playing.
Yeah.
And then I kind of look over there and he has the piano app open and he's playing it on the piano on his tablet.
I forgot you told me that. That's so cool.
And then once she realized that she went from like, oh, these kids and their tablets to like, oh, you're learning on your tablet. And I think that was kind of one of those like, like it's not all, I mean, if you, turn on, I don't know, just trash on their tablets, like it's trash in, trash out, but there's a lot of learning tools, there's a lot of educational stuff on there.
I mean, tech has been around forever now, and I mean, I'm transitioning my lesson studio in Fort Worth to my home in Denton, Texas, and a majority of that is virtual learning. And I do think, yes, social interaction, getting with people, having one-on-one lessons is still very important and key, but I prefer to do live streams or do YouTube videos than playing at a bar till 2 a.m. wondering if I'm going to get paid.
Yeah.
Well, like I just, the fact that I can play for people that actually care online and like they like my stuff and share it and support it means a lot more than that. And that's online in tech. And I mean, I record all of my music through apps and programs and stuff. And
I mean, hey, we're 3 hours apart doing a podcast every week.
Yeah, we're doing a podcast, and we definitely wouldn't be, I don't think, this good at this stuff if we didn't have, like you said, you walking into your grandma's house and playing an NES.
Yeah.
To, me playing, I mean, one of my favorite gaming covers is coming out May 19th, and it's the Mario Select theme.
I'm excited for that one. That's my favorite song that you've done. My most streamed
music is not my personal music. It's the video game covers. Like my Guitarist of Time album is about to hit 16,000 streams.
Wow.
And it's because of a Metroid cover off that whole album.
If you haven't checked it out, shout out to @Chris Wallace Music.
Oh yeah. Check it out. It's some good stuff.
I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah. I'm currently
Spotify,
working on
YouTube.
Yeah, Spotify and YouTube. No Apple Music due to, covers, copyright, all that stuff. But check it out. It's called Chris Wallace Presents Guitarist of Time. It's a mix of some hard rock, ambient, some lo-fi stuff. I'm currently working on Guitars to Time Part 2, and it's going to be a whole mixture of game stuff as well. And the new single, the Super Mario 64 file select theme, comes out May 19th. It's very chill. It's good stuff.
I don't have anything to plug, but I am thinking about starting another channel, personal channel. With one of my longest hobbies has been like making videos, like short films, things like that. And I've been really getting back into it, especially with, starting the podcast and messing around with all the camera gear and everything. So I'm thinking about starting a small channel just to post all of my random little projects. Like I've made a couple of fake trailers. It's got like scary movie trailers. I've got a couple of short horror films that I'm working on.
It's all really good stuff that you've shown me.
Thanks.
You should do like a how to build a box, like those boxes that you built for like.
Oh, don't say too much. You're talking about the which box? The Christmas present box?
Your Christmas present box.
Yeah. Okay, so in case my brother-in-law is listening, I'm not going to go into detail, but it is a box that he's getting for Christmas. Every other year, so we take turns, and this all started years ago. For those of you listening, we make our presents the most difficult as difficult as possible to get into, or disgusting, or something else. For instance, one year I bought 20 boxes of red Jello mix and a trash can, and I got him I think it was either a gift card or a game, I can't remember. And then I sealed that in plastic, tied it to a weight, mixed all of this Jello together, threw everything into this tall kitchen trash can, and then I stuck it in our deep freeze and froze it. And this thing weighed about 75 to 100 pounds. And by the time that he unwrapped or opened it for Christmas, he had to go like shoulder deep into a trash can to get his game out of red Jello. It was like mostly frozen, so he had to kind of dig through there. And then the next year, he handed me a package that was about 50 layers of duct tape, rubber bands, super glue, cooked wet cold spaghetti, and wrapping paper. And that took a long time. It took lots of knives and scissors, and this most recent year he handed me this black box with no image on it, and it had a 500 piece puzzle in it. And then I started doing the puzzle, and I thought there was like maybe a gift card code or something hidden in it, because he clearly had modified the photo, put words on it, and had it turned into a puzzle. And I put together about half of the puzzle, and in the middle was just like all green foliage. And I couldn't tell one piece from another. It was almost impossible with no reference picture. And I finally was looking at it, I was like, that looks like I've seen this place before. And I realized it was a picture of some trees that are on our property. And it's like Christmas Eve. It is like 10 degrees outside. And I went out there with a flashlight for like 30 minutes. Like I bundled up and we just ran around the property with the flashlight. Could not find those trees. So finally the next morning I went back out, found the trees, and I was like looking all around the tree, and then I was like walking back and my foot sunk into the ground. He had buried it. So then I had to go back all the way to the house, get a shovel, walk all the way back out there, dig up the spot, and it was a bag, and it was soggy and cold because it had been in the ground all night. And started getting through that, and I found opened canned baby corn. Like this thing was just full of it. So I had to dig through all that, find the inner package, and then there still was a whole like wrapping paper, duct tape, rubber band gift to get through.
Oh my god.
Got to the middle of it, and it was a PlayStation gift card.
How much was the gift card?
It's like 50.
Oh,
so it was pretty good. I bought Last of Us Part 1 with it. Yeah, so this year,
kid. No,
yeah, right. This year, the present is going to end up costing more than the actual gift. I mean, the wrapping is going to end up costing more than the actual gift because this includes custom electronics and woodworking, and you're never going to get it open. It's going
Yeah,
to take
that's
you like
insane.
6 months.
I've had like the duct tape box. I've had my nephew got like a firecracker box one time. Like they were
Nice.
like, open it from the top, and he like pulled it and it just
It
like
just
blew up
exploded.
on him. Yeah. Did the scavenger hunt once. That didn't go well because it was like a scavenger hunt for them to go to Disney. And their dog ate Simba. We put Simba
Oh
outside
no.
and tore up his Simba, and he broke down. It was so sad. It's messed up. But yeah, no, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Just very, you know. Speaking of
it's competitive.
the whole like having to go shoulder deep in Jello, this is definitely way left field. My uncle used to. He tells me this story all the time, but it's awesome. Used to work for a Mexican restaurant, and they would have him stir the salsa arm length deep in a trash can. So,
Oh,
yeah, and it was like a super busy
dude,
Mexican restaurant. So
that does
yeah,
not sound sanitary.
yeah, yeah. So
That reminds me,
yeah,
there was a little Tex-Mex place that my sister worked at for a while.
mm-hmm,
When she was, I think she was I think she was like a senior in high school, maybe right out of high school. Um, and we ate there all the time, and that's when we
mm-hmm.
found out that the leftover chips in the basket they would dump back into the bag
Ugh, ugh. Did okay?
after every table.
This may be a Texas thing. You guys in the comments, let me know. Have you ever in Texas or anywhere else had a roach on your plate, and then you hear somebody in the back go, "There's roaches in my food too"? Let us know in the
Dude,
comments. Okay.
no.
So
Why would that be a
when
Texas thing?
I went to this
That should be
Tex-Mex
a nowhere
place.
thing.
Yeah, it should be a nowhere thing, but I'm just curious if it happens more in Texas. Went to this place. We went camping in Cedar Hill, and me and my buddy that we went with love Mexican food. So we found this little hole in the wall place, which are like the best ones to go to. We go
Yeah.
in, get the food, start eating. Crunch. There's a roach in my
Oh,
plate.
no.
And then I hear like 15 minutes later, I hear, sir, there's the roaches in my quesadilla.
Dude.
So they had a roach problem. But I'm just curious if, you know.
Yeah, that should be a nowhere issue. Oh my gosh. That's so gross.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling too good on the drive home. Had a
I
great
would
camping trip, but drive
good.
home sucked.
Yeah, I would bet not. Ugh, dude.
Yeah. But anyways, that wraps up this episode, Gaming with Kids. Be sure to check us out every Thursday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Every once in a while, we do giveaways. We just finished one up where one of our subscribers received a free digital copy of Tears of the Kingdom. So stay tuned for more giveaways similar to that.
And remember, it's dangerous to go alone.
See ya.